So this is a book that I was excited to read. It was very, very new to me. It's called Belladonna, um, and it's by, I really can't pronounce her name, but it's Dasa Drndic. Dasa, I don't know. I mean, maybe you can see it. It'll be in the description or whatever. Um, but she's Croatian, and I've never read anything by a Croat.
Yeah.
Uh,
Croat.
I thought it would be Croatian,
Yeah.
um, but in the book, all of the characters, like whenever it comes up, they do refer to each other as Croats.
Okay.
Um, so I don't know if one's actually more correct or not, but apparently Croat is acceptable.
Hmm.
It's kind of neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
It sounds like it's derogatory.
Yeah. You Croat.
Yeah, you Croat. Um, but I was really happy to read something and kind of get a very different world perspective instead of just reading like um, I mean I guess people kind of say like oh those old white guys,
Right.
but like America's really rich with literature the same way kind of England, France, Russia, um,
Totally.
whereas like there's a lot of cultures that have like really rich um, and maybe every culture has like a rich literary history that
Sure.
um, is just kind of like at least unknown to me.
At least a storytelling culture as well. Like
Yeah,
so that yeah.
it might be like oral traditions or whatever, but um,
Cool.
I could probably go my whole life without ever thinking about Croatia.
Right.
So it's like it feels kind of like important to read to me anyway. Um, and this is the kind of book that after reading it or while reading it is so up my alley. First of all, the narration, like the perspective of the storyteller, um, is like so misanthropic. This is someone that has a negative view of the world and humanity.
Hmm.
Um, and I love those kind of books.
You would.
It's so great. Like, and things like she'll like describe a person, but in a way that. And the other thing is like the way that she describes things is different than I would than I'm used to. It's totally different. And she's like describing like a human being, and like kind of saying like there's like this kind of midi slab thing in the middle, things hanging off the sides, like a little protuberance coming up the top, has these hollows that just hold these wet balls.
Humans are weird animals compared
Right.
to other mammals. Yeah.
So totally taking away any sort of romanticism that you might have, and just going. And this is like early on in the book, going. We are going to be talking about these disgusting creatures and all of the stupid things that they do,
Huh.
all of the like horror and suffering that they put on each other, all of the things that they think are important that are not important, but they put that on other people. This is coming from you know in that time period, like the 20th century, in that area in Europe, 20th century was not kind.
Right.
Like the world wars, um, well, there's still like all this stuff going on over there as far as wars and whatever Russia's up to. Um, there's also like, I kind of looked it up. There's all sorts of these like countries that you forget even exist
Right.
that are battling it out or doing whatever they're doing. Um,
So this perspective might be refreshing to read. Like
yeah,
critical. Yeah.
I mean, this is like a lot of the people in the book. The main character is it's something like a philosopher that no longer philosophizes. So someone that's kind of, thinks about, a philosopher is someone who thinks about man's relationship to the world.
Okay.
How do we relate to each other? And that's what this person does, and they've given up on that. It gives you an idea of like how dire we're starting off. He's sick. He's like got cancer. Spends his time going to doctors' offices and being in waiting rooms. The area, you get this sense, is like so destitute, and the people are these like lost souls that people are coming in to just wait in the waiting room because it's a place that you can sit.
Mm.
They're just spending their time, like literally waiting.
It's depressing.
It's depressing. Yeah.
Is it a novel? Is it a story about
It's
that
the
guy?
strangest thing. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a novel. And that's the other thing. Like, I love when people are pushing boundaries and being experimental and kind of trying new things. Actually, I don't think that she's necessarily doing anything that's like completely groundbreaking, but like she has like photographs in here.
Oh, that's cool.
There's like illustrations. There's diagrams. There's like like a poster. There's parts in here where like someone might sing a song and the writer will put I don't even know what you call them, but like those musical bars, like
Oh, like sheet music.
sheet music that
Okay.
has like the clef,
Treble clef.
treble clef.
Yep.
Have that thing,
Yeah.
and then notes, and it'll like show the sheet music. It's like this person was singing this song. Here's the sheet music. If you were so inclined, you could, I guess, maybe play it. Like, and all those kind of things, like to lesser extents, more or less, other experimental writers have done, like John Dos Passos with his U.S. Ace trilogy. William Burroughs a little bit as far as like his Cut Up series. I was really reminded of the Cantos by Ezra Pound, which has a lot of crazy typography things. Not similar at all, but at least I was reminded of A Vision by W.B. Yeats, with his like automatic writing, lots of like weird things in there. Yeah, sheet music.
Oh, there you go.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it kind of gives a cool. So you mentioned you hadn't read a Croats book before. Kind of a cool little insight to the culture too, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing felt really fresh, and it was also like a great contrast between the presentation of the story and then the actual content, where it's kind of like experimental and light. You're seeing pictures and this and that, and the margins change, and there's using italics, and then to read a book that's like really dark and sad, and you don't really wouldn't expect any sort of kind of like fireworks around something that's like kind of a really serious subject. But it works really well. A lot of the like strangeness of the book never felt unnecessary or forced.
Cool.
And I think this is part of a trilogy or a series. There's another one that's called like Eeg, E-E-G. And then this September, another one's coming out. I think it's called Tumbleweed. I could be wrong, but there's another one coming out. I'm definitely, like, after reading this thing, for as much as I liked it, it's almost kind of like dangerous, like to kind of live in this world, especially if you don't have to. Um, so I definitely would read it again, but I know for me, it'll be very well paced until I kind of go into like another one of my favorite writers is Celine. Wrote
Not familiar.
Journey to the End of the Night and Death on the Installment Plan. Um, One of my favorite writers of the 20th century. Top three French writers. Um, he was a Nazi sympathizer. But anyway.
But
His books are extremely misanthropic. Like to the farthest extent. Like there's only maybe one other writer I could think that could be like as extreme as Celine. And he writes these thick books, go on for hundreds of pages. And if you sit there and get through it, for as great as it is, you're not. I feel like you wouldn't be very likely to want to pick up his next one. It's not like reading Harry Potter,
sure.
where you really want to keep going. It's an extreme experience that you put yourself through. And
Heavy.
Heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you need a break. What do you think? I was kind of talking a lot. Is that good?
Yeah, I think it's interesting.
Um,
One question I
Sure.
have is the content of the plot, I guess? Is it following the one character through his life, essentially, or through that time period? Just
it's really a lot of the action is him kind of later in his life.
okay.
You hear a lot about there's a lot of history about how they all ended up where they are now, but it's not like I wouldn't describe it as like a sweeping chronicle, like
Okay.
Buddenbrooks by Thomas Mann. Like it's not like that. I wouldn't say.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, that sounds cool.
Okay. So
Heavy.
leave a comment if you'd like. If you read her before, I'd love to hear opinions. I've actually never met anyone that's read her. And thank you for watching.